Here we are this morning at Atalaya Emotion, which is the latest development from Grupo TM, one of the best house builders and developers here on the Costa del Sol. As you can probably see behind me, the plot is, well, they're just starting on it now. And we're going to be speaking to the head of sales, Augusto Vidal, who's going to be telling us what the company has planned for the future, a little bit more about this project, and telling us why they made the move from the Costa Blanca to the Costa del Sol, because they're a company that's actually based up in Alicante. Hello there, I'm Sean Woolley, Managing Director of Cloud9 Spain. With me, I'm delighted to say I have Augusto Vidal, the Head of Sales for TM Group on the Costa del Sol. And I'm delighted that you're here. Well, I'm here because this is your world. We're in the sales office of their latest project, which is called Atalaya Emotion. And what I wanted to do with Augusto is just to find out how the market is behaving, what their plans are for the future. TM is quite a big group. And what's been happening, why they're here in the Costa del Sol, because the history of TM is back in the Costa Blanca, isn't it?
Originally from Torrevieja,
Yeah.
you know, it's the Serna family.
Right, yeah.
TM is family owned,
Okay.
still very big. We are already 53 years old.
Wow.
More than 20,000 properties built along the Mediterranean, only residential tourism.
Mm-hmm.
And although it's a very big company, it's still family owned.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very personal company.
And I know that you've built a lot of properties in the Costa Blanca very successfully, and you're continuing to do so. So why the Costa del Sol? What brought TM to the Costa del Sol?
Well, it's a matter of expansion. We started in Costa Blanca. We're very, very strong in Benidorm, for example, Orihuela, etc. And then we were moving to Almeria, where we're building 3,000 properties there.
Yeah.
Then we moved on to Mallorca.
Keeping going down the coast.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, all along the coast.
Yeah.
And then Mallorca, lots of Germans, as you can imagine. And then Costa del Sol was 6-7 years ago.
With Miradores, was it?
No, that was Dream Gardens.
Dream Gardens, that's it, in La Cala.
Exactly. Yeah. That was the first thing.
Yeah.
And then Marbella Senses
Yes. Yeah.
in the Golden Mile.
Yeah.
That was in the middle of the big crisis.
That's right.
And the land owners were actually giving their land away because nothing was built. So we always get well along with when big crisis comes, because we don't need to finance our projects.
Yes.
We don't take mortgage from the bank.
Yeah.
We build with our own resources, so we can actually buy the land and build.
So there's always opportunities, aren't there? When the market dips a little, there's always a few opportunities to buy land.
That's it, because there was nothing new to be sold then in Marbella, almost nothing.
That's right.
And that was a very, very nice plot. And we went for sale, new townhouses in the Golden Mile in walking distance to Puente Romano for 600,000 euros.
I remember when it was released thinking, wow, I wish I had the money.
We were trying to figure out the prices, but there were no tests.
Yeah,
we couldn't see how much we can sell. So later on, we realized we were selling too cheap.
Yeah,
but
that's right. Yeah, so the people who got in there early got a good price.
They are now selling for double the price.
Yeah, that's
those properties.
Great location. And then from there, was it then to Cancelada?
And then Golden Green.
Golden Green in Nueva.
Little 8 boutique project.
Yeah.
And then Los Miradores del Sol.
Yeah.
3 phases. Phase 1, 49 apartments sold. Second phase, 67 apartments sold. And then phase 3, 14 townhouses, they all sold.
Okay, so very successful.
Yeah.
And now this?
And now Atalaya Emotion.
Okay, and what's the story with Atalaya Emotion? Because I know this plot very well. It's in a great location, next to the school, walking distance to Mercadona, you're 5 minutes to Benavis village, you're 2 or 3 minutes down to the coast road. Great location.
It's a great location.
So what are you doing here?
I think it's the last plot in Atalaya.
Yeah.
So that has already a value, because they will be the most modern apartments for a very, very long time.
That's right.
And they have the panoramic views.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing in front, it's land, and the river Guadalmina. We're right next to Marbella. To the left you have La Concha Mountain, in front is the land, and these old architectural buildings in Guadalmina.
Yeah.
And to the right you have the sea, so you have sea views from the penthouses.
And surrounded by golf as well, because you've got all the golf courses
Yeah.
in this neighbourhood as well.
Yeah. I think it's 3 or 4, El
Yeah.
Paraíso, Atalaya, etc.
Yeah.
You can actually drive with the buggy.
Yeah.
And big project, big urbanization with almost 7,000 square meters common areas,
Wow.
you say?
Yeah.
With pool, heated pool for the
Oh,
winter,
nice.
heated jacuzzis, gym, a lake with an island in the
Looking at
middle.
the pictures, yeah.
We've got a petanque,
Yeah.
petanque field, which is very social sport.
And how many apartments?
63
Okay.
apartments.
And price ranges?
We started at 395,
Mm-hmm.
but they were all very quickly sold. We've sold 50%.
And what would that buy you? 2 bed, 2 bath?
That's 2 bed, 2 bath.
Size, roughly?
Size is 95 square meters built
Mhm.
inside, plus big terraces. We're doing terraces with 30, 40 square meters,
That's good, yeah.
and garden, very big gardens with
Yeah.
double orientation. So we
Okay.
made some gardens, because the plot needs to have some blocks east facing.
Yeah.
So in the ground floors, we've done gardens to the front, to the east, and to the back.
Nice, okay.
Even 60 square meters in the back
Because
with
some-
the west sun.
Because I actually love being east facing, because I like the morning sun, and sometimes when you live here, you've kind of had enough sun by the afternoon and evening. But a lot of people, obviously, when it's a second home, they want that evening sun, they want that cocktail terrace or that bit of garden. So
That's it.
because this is a predominantly east facing plot, that's really clever to make something of the rear of the property that
That's
people
it.
can enjoy. So it's overcoming that objection, isn't it, where they say, "Oh, I want to be west facing." Well, you can be as well. So
That's it. Yeah.
good. Interesting you mentioned about the heated pool, because there's not many. I know there's a couple of developments near here that have heated pools, but there's not many on the Costa del Sol, probably less than 5%.
Oh, really?
Or probably even less, less than that have heated pools. And I think it's now that people are buying for lifestyle reasons, I think it's a really nice thing to incorporate, because when you have a communal pool, of course it's beautiful to look at, it's lit up at night, but for 9 months of the year, you can't really swim. So it's nice that you've included one here, because
Yeah.
it just gives people that extra facility that they can enjoy with their families and their friends. So
Absolutely.
I'm pleased to hear that. So
Yeah.
how's the sales going here? Head of sales?
50% sold in phase 1.
Without anything being built?
No, we have started today digging the pool.
I heard him digging the pool. Yeah.
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 But from phase 1, we have released 30 apartments in the
Okay.
first 3 blocks. We have, in phase 1, we have blocks to the south, southeast and east.
Yeah.
And second phase will be a big block to the south, 1 block to the east and 1 block to the west.
Okay.
We
So
managed to
something for everyone. You managed to tilt.
We have
something,
everything, yeah.
So, what happens when this is sold out? Because this is going to sell out in the next few months, I guess. Hopefully.
Probably.
Head of sales. So what happens then? Are you out of a job, or is there another project coming up?
That is always the same question. Many people ask this. When you say what to do,
Yeah. What happens next?
we're looking
Don't
for.
be too good.
We have we have the last unit in Banús Bay.
Yes, which is I went to the show home opening there. Very
Yeah.
nice project, and that's sold really well, hasn't it? Because that, I guess, for you guys was a bit of a risk, because the pricing is higher. It's
It was something relatively new for
Yeah.
TM.
Yeah.
TM is more an apartment developer, high price.
Yeah.
And this was actually the urbanization with the most expensive houses we've done until now. But we are in the Costa del Sol, so we need to get into that market slowly, no? So yeah, last one for sale.
Yeah.
Fully furnished. It's actually the show house. Then we have the next project in Puerto Banús. It's right next street,
Okay.
a little down to the beach. So it's 200 meters to the beach.
Are you able to tell us anything about that, or is it
Yeah.
top secret?
No, that will
Do
be
I have to sign
fine.
something?
That I will show you the project now when we
Okay.
finish.
off camera.
It's going to be 5 villas, detached. That's a very special project for TM now. South facing, big villas, plots 500 to 600 square meters.
Sounds expensive, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's on the beach. You're in walking distance to Puerto Banús. It's
Right.
5 minutes with a bike.
Okay.
And 700 to 800 square meters built.
Wow. Oh, these are big
Yeah,
villas.
very, very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very nice price.
We don't have price at the moment, but it's going to be around 3 million.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably,
That sounds fair enough. And in terms of apartments, are there any plans for more apartments after
Yeah.
Atalaya Emotion?
We bought another plot in Higuerón,
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
very close to Playa Carvajal,
Yeah.
where some other projects are being done at the moment also. and we expect to launch end of the summer.
That's interesting because obviously Higueron West was probably the biggest selling project last
Yeah,
year, the year
yeah.
before. So it's a good area. If you get the product right,
Yeah.
and are able to offer the right thing at the right price, and it's a good one.
It's good because TM is always asking our department, sales department, what the clients want.
Yeah, which is great.
If you see, for all the apartments in Higueron will have sea views.
Yeah,
And here in Atalaya, the design department and the architecture and project department were asking us what we want to do.
yeah,
So we made wide living rooms, we made big main rooms up to 18 square meters, useful surface, we made big terraces, big gardens, the qualities we wanted.
And who's buying TM apartments and villas? Is there a specific nationality or age profile?
Not really.
Or is it a complete mixture?
Not really. As you know, it's a big mixture of people. Maybe we can say Scandinavian, Swedish.
Okay.
They like projects.
Yeah.
There are very a lot of buyers there,
Yeah.
but they also like our projects for different things. It's the underfloor. We make underfloor heating standard in all the properties, even the least expensive apartments.
Yeah.
And with the aerothermic system,
Yeah. Great.
You
Yeah,
say
yeah.
you say so,
Yeah.
which is very energy efficient, saves
Exactly.
60%. So I think Scandinavians love that.
Yeah, they do. What I also like, I pass Miradores del Sol, but I pass that every day because I live up in the hills.
I know.
And,
I see you.
Yeah, you see.
I saw you.
You keep waving. I don't worry. And what I loved was you could have made those buildings just very plain and white and boring, like a lot of developments here at the moment. But what I loved about what TM did was they just made it architecturally quite interesting with the wooden features. And I'm sure it didn't cost a huge amount. But it just added something, some sort of depth and soul to that development. And I think it's one of the most attractive looking developments on the whole coast.
Yeah.
And for the price point, it was really good. And I'm not saying that just to big up TM because I'm sat here in your office and you might lock me out. But yeah, it's a really attractive project. And I think what you said about the sort of when you're developing ideas for new projects, it sounds like it's quite a collaborative approach. So not only with probably the head guys at TM and you here on the ground, but also with agents. I know that you reach out to agents and also ask for their feedback and
Exactly.
you know who's buying, what's happening, and what does the market want. So it's really encouraging. My next question to you was going to be, what obviously there's a lot of developers out there all competing for the same clients. What sets TM apart, would you say? What is it that people will get from an experience with TM?
Well, this was we were saying before. It's a family-owned company. There is no fund behind or something like that. It's a second generation. It's a classical developer. We only do that. We are very compact. We build ourselves. We promote. We develop. We build. We finance ourselves, and we provide a very nice after-sales support. And we even have always an office on site, after-sales office on site. So one of the apartments, we don't sell it, and we have set our after-sales office there. So if the client has any problem, it's not only an email or a telephone. They can actually walk from their apartment to the sales office and say, "Hey, look, that I don't know how that works. Can you come?" Yes, of course. Aerothermic is sometimes not easy. So okay, don't worry. I will.
That's really important because we're finding at the moment, obviously, the market is busy. There's a lot of big Spanish developers in the market who are delivering a lot of units. But I think the aftercare and the quality control is suffering because of that. I mean, these are mainly publicly listed companies. So it's all about the figures, it's all about the profit and the return for shareholders. And we've noticed that the clients are the ones who suffer because they get their nice new apartments, but there's no handover process. There's no snagging. There's none of that after sales, which is it's the pain in the bum type of bit, isn't it? It's the bit that people don't like to do, but you have to do it because that's part of the job. And so it's really encouraging to hear that that's something that TM do really well. And I know that you guys also have, is it rental and management services that you can
Also,
offer as well?
yeah.
Which is good.
Furniture packages.
Yeah.
We get you the energy. I mean the light with the electric company.
Yeah.
We get you the internet.
Okay.
we contract the water.
Yeah.
So when you come from the notary, you can actually have the whole furniture package with everything, the forks, the sleeves, the
So it
towels.
taps on and it comes out.
Actually, the corkscrewer.
Oh wow.
Fork.
Okay. Okay.
And everything. And the light, and at your name already,
Yeah.
we go there, we do that for you.
Fantastic.
And in the handover, our after sales team goes with you to the apartment, to every single apartment, and shows you exactly how everything works.
Lovely. That's really encouraging to hear that, because obviously when we recommend a product, when we take a client to a developer, we want an easy life, but we also want our clients to be happy. So the fact that you're extending that service and not just abandoning the client is really, really important. Okay.
We made surveys,
Yes.
independent surveys
Yeah.
to the clients when after they visited the sales office, after the handover of the apartment,
Yeah.
and 6 months after living in the apartment or owning the apartment.
Right. Good.
And all these surveys are analyzed, and we say, no, we are doing this wrong, we're doing this well, we have to do this better.
Very good.
So we take this very seriously. Yeah.
Very good. So, okay, so there's more projects coming. I'm going to keep you busy. Very good. You're still going to be operating in the Costa Blanca because that's your home
course.
ground, I guess. But Costa del Sol, you're happy with the progress and you're determined to move forward on here on the Costa del Sol.
Yes, yes. Now there are plans to grow
That's
Very-
really interesting. Very good.
very much, not too much. We don't want to lose that personal touch, but we know there is more possibilities in the market
Yeah.
to have more product.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Gusto, thank you so much
You're so welcome.
for allowing me into your temporary home.
Yeah.
And I know there's not a lot to see on this project, apart from the digger digging the pool, which is very exciting. But I know that over the coming weeks and months, this place is going to look very different. So yeah, we'll be seeing you very soon with clients.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Cheers.
Ciao.
Está, aquí está.